I feel like we're in a time today where we're very disconnected from nature, and nature is my inspiration in art. If you don't know my art very well, I work with including the materials of our nature and of this earth into my paintings. My goal is to become a totally naturally resourced painter, and with that also a sustainable painter using sustainable materials that are biodegradable and that won't hurt this earth in the long run. I want to bring back the mystery of the nature too. In my Nordic culture back in the days, our divinity was seen here on this earth, underneath us or amongst us. Norse mythology, paganism, we had a lot of folklore with different beings, and a lot of wisdom, I think, came with this respect as well as fear for nature. And I think that we've become very much disconnected from that today, and I want to bring that back to show how nature has brought us where we are today as humans, and how indebted we are to Mother Earth and what's around us for having come to this point in our civilization. And I guess I romanticize a time when we cherish that, when our goal again becomes leaving the earth for the next generation the way that we were handed it. And I know that at this point that might not be possible, but I think that art is a way to inspire that change in people's heart and inspire change. Art speaks to the very human in us, which is sensibility and the connection with ourselves and our surroundings. I believe that natural materials bring into the art more dimensions. I think that first of all, it gives you sort of a sensorial impression of the painting or the artwork in the way that it's usually textured and uneven in color. The colors itself, I've found, are being produced by nature, are very earthy and grounding, and so with that I feel like perhaps it brings some clarity and some healing to whoever is witnessing the painting or the artwork. I of course have a very spiritual or sensitive take on nature and art, and therefore also the connection between the two, and other than bringing it a certain visual aesthetic in its whole with all of these different senses, I find art that's derived from nature to be a little bigger than ourselves. It becomes more than just something that's created by the human. If you're doing realistic paintings, it becomes more than just an imitation of reality from a human perspective. I guess my goal with including nature into my art is to create something that brings the human out of themselves and into their surroundings in a different way. Nowadays, when we are surrounded by so many synthetic materials, both in our houses, in our clothes, in our food, in our makeup, and so much is supposed to be picture perfect, both in the various arts, but in most things that humans do. I think it really separates us from where we come from, and I've found that what that does to the human is doing us a big disservice. If we're speaking in very large terms or in a very large picture, humanity has never been as depressed. There's never been as many lonely people. People's stress is at an all-time high, and coming back to nature has helped me, at least, after having lived in Rome, in a big city for a good while, longer than what was healthy for me. Coming back to nature has brought me back into my body and my passions, into my connections with my friends and my relatives, into my heritage, and of course my cultural heritage, because now I'm home again. Cherish your nature. No matter where you're from, cherish it, love it. I've seen this in people all around the world, that they cherish their nature in similar ways, if not the same way, no matter what their circumstances look like, no matter what their landscape looks like. I think that bears witness to how we're born into this world with a connection to our earth, and I guess my aim through my art is to bring light into that and remind us that we are allowed the pleasure and the luxury and the privilege of being and making ourselves a little bit insignificant. That's a little controversial.